Hi guys, Kim here. The spin, Peter Pan, crucifix in the hair. This is super weird, but right now I'm experiencing spin. I'm experiencing it in the weirdest way, or two ways really. For the last few days when I wake in the morning, the whole room is travelling in circles around my head. And I got up to go to the bathroom during the night and I staggered there, crashing into walls as I went. When I got up, I went downstairs and placed my feet firmly on soil, and then it stopped. And then the other spin happens when I start to think too deeply about any given subject, and then my head starts to do it again, but I'm experiencing it as an external experience, not in the usual way one would experience head spin, like this is spinning me out, man. Really curious as to whether anybody else is experiencing this sensation at the moment. I had a very strange event the other day that led me down a rabbit hole that came out giving me a coded message, which took me a couple of days to decode it. But I think what it was telling me is there may be some people that don't like this, but it indicated something about Sunday the 19th of September with this Peter Pan theme, and then this idea that boys would become men on this day. Certainly interesting turn of event if that occurs. No offence intended to those men that are awake. Then the next one, which is a little bit complex, but I'll try and break it down. Someone pointed out to me that if you reverse the word crucifix and then break it down, you get a very interesting result. So, spelling it backwards, it begins with the letter X, and X could perhaps mean cross, as it's contained in noughts and crosses, and that's been quite deeply embedded in our consciousness. So cross, then the word if. So I'm going to place the rest of the letters up here, pause the video if need be to read it, but certainly it would be interesting to know what your personal interpretation of the cryptic message contained in this word is. Lastly, I want to talk about hair acting as an antenna. I woke a few years ago to the message that told me to stop cutting my hair, so I stopped cutting my hair immediately, probably 2, maybe even 3 years ago now. And then secondly, was sitting around with some friends around about the same time, and we were talking about shampoos and makeup and stuff, and we were talking about the coating and shampoos that coated your hair in silicone, and what would happen if we stopped washing our hair. So I stopped washing my hair about 2 or 3 years ago. Sounds gross, right? But actually, when you stop washing your hair regains its natural state and is able to keep itself clean. It takes a few weeks to get to this state, and during this phase I washed my hair only in apple cider vinegar. But then beyond that, I seriously do not have to wash my hair maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And when I do, I make up my own substances using maybe coconut milk and apple cider vinegar. Do the same with body washes and soap. So I think what happened when I stopped washing my hair was it helped me gain a cleaner insight to my higher consciousness. It gave me a capacity to guide my dream state better, and it opened up my perceptions. I've got no way of proving any of this, but I do think it's worth mentioning. Then yesterday I came across a video studying this subject, that the hair is antenna. And I put a link to the video below if you guys want to watch it. The stuff they are talking about in this video is really quite profound. I could do a short synopsis of it, but in all honesty I don't think I would do it any credit, as I might cut out essential stuff. They even get into the analysis of what drinking alcohol does to the hair molecules and how it disrupts our energy. So just one last point on this subject. I often find myself twirling my hair around my fingers, especially these days. My sister pointed out to me that the hair is connected to the meridians and therefore circulating information around the body. Then I was discussing this subject of hair being an antenna with a group that I belonged to yesterday, and one of the people in the group mentioned the story of Samson. So the biblical account of Samson states, Samson was a Nazarite, and he was given immense strength to aid him against his enemies and to allow him to perform superhuman feats, including slaying a lion with his bare hands and massacring an entire army of Philistines using the jawbone of a donkey. However, if Samson's long hair were cut, then his Nazarite vow would be violated and he would lose his strength. That quote came from Wikipedia, so I'll link the whole story below. Just interesting when you combine the idea that video and the idea that we lose our strength when we cut our hair. People meet me all the time and say to me, Kim, you need to cut your hair, it's getting too long. And I'm like, no, go away, I'm not cutting my hair. So, just wanted to share all that with you guys. Leave it up to you for now. Would appreciate your comments. Thanks for listening.